Preview.
What an absolute time to be a United fan. What an absolute time. I mean, it's amazing. It's great. Finally, Yoro is here. What an exciting time to be a United fan. What an exciting talent that we have on our hands now. He is a United player right now. The deal has been completed, but there is an inside scoop of how the deal was completed. I'll be sharing that with you. Also, there are more transfer news. Ugarte, Greenwood, McTominay, Matthias de Ligt, and how United intend to tackle the rest of the window, the strategy. I'm going to explain to you how United is going to tackle this whole transfer period, or this whole transfer in the summer to you. I'm going to explain to you, break it down for you here on this channel. If you are new to the channel, thank you very much. You've helped us hit 1,000 subscribers. We are very much appreciative of what you've done for us. Thank you very much. But we are not done yet. We still need more of your subscription. If you are new to the channel, please remember to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well. Let's grow this community together. It's very, very important for us. Exciting times ahead for all of us as United fans. Let's keep going. Let's keep enjoying ourselves. Let me make a quick turnaround. When I come back, I will give you the inside scoop of everything that happened on the Lenny Yoro deal, what you need to know, and how we were able to pull this deal through. I'll be bringing you all of that here on United Today.
Before we begin, we have a message from someone who you've, I think, spoken to quite a lot already, but I'll let you have a watch through.
Lenny. How you doing, bro? Listen, congratulations. Welcome to Manchester United, man. I wish you all the best. I know you're going to work hard. And that's the secret, man. Work hard. Work on all your parts of your game. You got all the potential. You got all the tools, man. You got everything there ready to rock and roll, to go and make a big impact at this club. It's the best club in the world. It's a beautiful place to be. Go and enjoy yourself, man. All right, and I'll see you soon. Good luck. Mwah. Good luck, man. Let's go. Lenny.
It's crazy.
Thank you very much. Did you enjoy that video? That was Rio Ferdinand, who played an instrumental role in ensuring that this deal happens. And I'm going to explain to you how all of these things happened here. So how did this whole deal happen? I'll get to the Rio Ferdinand bits. It's very, very important. How did this whole deal happen? So, as you know, United, we struck a deal with Lille last week Tuesday. I've been reporting that already, that the deal was already in place last week Tuesday, when we had an agreement with Lille that we'll be signing Euro for a fee of 52 million euros, or 52 million pounds, rising to 59 million pounds. That's in addition to the add-ons. And it was Euro's turn to give us a response, whether he would want to come to play for us or he would still be with Real Madrid. As it has been reported, Real Madrid had always been in a comfortable lead. They were the team that Yoro had initially chose, that he would wanted to play for them. Now, there were other plenty suitors, and they all knew that the player had made up his mind that he wanted to play for Real Madrid, and that is how things start. So how did even Real Madrid come into the picture? Real Madrid have a chief scout called Leny Yoro, and he and his staff identified this young French teenage prodigy as someone with enormous potential, and had tracked his performance with Lille extensively last season. This report I'm giving to you was given by The Athletic. They are the ones that gave us this inside scoop. So I'm trying to break down this inside scoop from The Athletic for you, so you understand how this whole deal came about for Manchester United. So Leny Yoro and his staff have been tracking this boy. They tracked his performance extensively last season. They knew and identified that this guy, they might have identified a new Raphael Varane, because they bought Raphael Varane at a very, very young age from RC Lens in France. And another top talent had emerged across Europe. He's seen as one of the best teenagers that had come onto the scene. Now, the initial plan for Madrid was that they were going to sign this young man in 2025. In 2025. But a serious injury to Eder Militao last season and Alaba, and especially and for Alaba, for instance, his injury is running up until October or November this year. So these two major injuries that affected their two key central defenders had made them push the plan backwards or to this summer. So their initial plan was to sign him in 2025. So this whole thing meant that they had to sign the player now rather than postpone it to 2025. Real Madrid were relying on their strategy that they've been using. Remember, they signed Mbappe for free. Not necessarily free, because when a player is signed for free, there are a lot of financial obligations. But they didn't make any payment to any club because the player was under no contract with any other club. They did it with Antonio Rudiger. They did it with David Alaba. And that is what they felt the plan was going to be for Leny Yoro. So because of these injuries, they had to shift the plan a bit forward. What it meant is that they were going to pay something. They had to pay money to Lille so that they could price the player away. So they felt they had the player in the bag. They felt that the player had made up their mind or had made up his mind to play for them. So that's how Real Madrid thought. So they decided to go in to bid for the player at a very interesting fee. The amount that Real Madrid wanted to buy the player for was between 25 and 30 million pounds, euros. That's around 21 million pounds. That was the amount that Real Madrid had gone into, because they knew that the player had just 1 year left and that Lille could lose the player for free. So they decided to, hold onto this stance and decided not to pay a certain amount for that player. And also they felt that they are appeal Champions League winners. They are building a great squad and every player would want to play for them. So that was the card that they were playing. Well, how did everything go? Now, Yoro himself, after all, could not, Lille were very, very particular about this issue of not letting Yoro leave for free, because they felt that they had groomed and developed this talent. Now, if this player is going to go, he must go for a fee. And that is when Manchester United came into the picture. Now, the player himself and his camp also have had a bit of doubts. I mean, throughout this whole process, at some point, because he wasn't sure that he was going to be a starter at Real Madrid. He wasn't sure that if he ran down his contract and he had a major injury, if Real Madrid were going to continue to keep him. So all of these things were also some form of doubt that had grown in the mind of the player. And that is where United's interest kicked in. United had a strategy of having to go agree a deal with the club. If you listen to our last podcast, one of our guests made mention of something very interesting, where he talked about the issues in the French league, where they don't even have a TV rights sponsor. So Lille financially had a problem. So United's first stance was to go agree a deal with Lille, which they felt will in turn force the hands of the authorities or the managers of that club to force the player to come to Manchester United. And that opened the door for United to also come in to negotiate. And that was when United used all sorts of avenues, to the point that the likes of Rio Ferdinand were used in the negotiation process for Leny Yoro to come in. Now, United just did not use Rio Ferdinand. Jason Wilcox, who is the technical director of the club, was in France to have a meeting with the player and his entourage to explain to him the project at Man United and where they intend to help the player develop into when he comes into the club. Yoro had seen that his chances of being in United and being a starter was going to be of great help, rather than go and then become second fiddle or take time to join to be able to play for Real Madrid. Now, there were other clubs that were interested. Liverpool could not afford, could not give the players camp an assurance that he's going to be a starter because they already have some players already lined up. I mean, already in the squad, Jarrell Kwanzaa, Joe Gomez, and all of these players were already there. So, and they felt that the price that Lille had mentioned was a bit more outrageous and it wasn't within their budget, so they backed off. PSG were also interested, they also backed off at some point. So everything pointed to United agreeing a deal and finding strategies in order to present a project and a financial package that was more acceptable to the player. A path that has been created for the player to develop into one of the top centre backs in the world was laid before the player. And United had promised him that he was going to form part of the core of young players that the team was building in Kobe Mainoo, in Leandro Garnacho, in Rasmus Højlund, in Joshua Zexi. All of these young core players that United were assembling to, take the club to the next level. So all of these appeals were made to the player in the process of, signing him. And even prior to Ineos coming in and taking sporting control somewhere in February, the United scouts had already been tracking this young, dynamic and promising player. And for Ineos, it aligns with their new strategy of long-term planning. So having this young, promising centre-back who has been playing the men's football for a very long time did a lot of good for them, and they felt that it was going to help them, get to the level that you had to get to. So that is how things ended. The likes of Omar Barada, who is the chief executive officer, took this personal, according to The Athletic, came in and then had to lead the final negotiations. Dan Ashworth's the director of football, Jason Wilcox were all involved, Matt Hargreaves, everyone was involved in ensuring that this deal was completed. So that's how everything went. United had to find a strategy to be able to, get to the authorities as Lille, agree a deal. Real Madrid, they knew United had wind that Real Madrid were not willing to pay beyond a certain amount. United was able to, go in there, present a suitable financial offer for the player and for the team, and now Leny Yoro, and also an acceptable project to the player. Now Leny Yoro has become a United player. What a steal. Now, Rio Ferdinand had this to say right after the signing was done. He shared this on his own right after this. Let's just do what Rio Ferdinand had to say.
We've signed a kid who's got huge potential. This reminds me of back in the day, Man United used to sign the best young talent. Lenny Yoro, in his age bracket, will be considered one of, if not the best centre-back around at the moment. The amount of game time he's had, the amount of experience he's had, the potential he shows in terms of ability, it's all there.
So that's what Rio Ferdinand said. United capturing the best young talent in the world and making them one of the superstars. That's what United have always been known for, by the way. Youth, courage, success. It's a part of our DNA, it's a part of our history, so it's exciting. Lenny Yoro officially a Red. Welcome to him. And we say a big thank you to the authorities at United for making this deal happen. It's been an awesome work that they've done, bringing in Joshua Zexi and now Lenny Yoro. Now, Laurie Whitwell of The Athletic has also stated that United are still interested in Delect and Brantwaite, but adding another left back may have to depend on sales. I'll come to this particular situation. Just keep that at the back of your mind. So a backup left-sided defender is also under consideration. Now, Victor Lindelof is one of the players on the list that is expected to leave, himself and Harry Maguire. Things are not so clear as to which of them will be leaving. But I'll come back to this particular situation and I'll explain something to you. Now, right on top of that, Fabrizio Romano came to report that United have agreed personal terms with Manuel Ugarte, PSG and Uruguayan defensive midfielder. I've been reporting about Ugarte for a very long time here on this channel, and I'm sure by now you would know how concrete our interest is. Now, just today, Fabrizio Romano has reported that contract terms have been discussed. The player is keen on moving to United, even without Champions League football. And now what is left is the club-to-club conversation that needs to be had. And he further added that United are working on outgoings with Casemiro and Scott McTominay to make room for for a new midfielder, and Ugarte is keen on making the move to Manchester United. That brings me to what I want to say. But before that, before I get to the transfer strategy that I was talking about and what United intend to do in this window, Mason Greenwood has officially left the club. £26.6 million, including a sizable sell-on clause, have all been inserted in. He's going to wear the number 10 shirt. We all know the controversy and the issues that came up with Mason Greenwood. Very unfortunate situation. Very promising young player. A lot of United fans fell in love with him. A gunman, a scorer. Had to stay home for quite some time. Came back last season, went on loan to Getafe. United decided to sell him, and now he's moved to Olympic Marseille. All the best to Mason Greenwood. We are going to miss him. Yes, I am going to miss him. I'm sure a lot of you are also going to miss him as well. It's rather unfortunate what has happened. Controversy around him. But he gets the chance to play football again. So that is it with Mason Greenwood. So let me tell you, so that's it with the transfers, but more on the transfer issue. So let me tell you the transfer strategy that United is taking now. There were reports that United will be working with a budget of between 50 to 70 million net spent in this transfer window. What it meant was that United had to sell players to add up to the budget that had been set aside in order to get in new players into the squad. Now, as things stands, United have brought in two players in Joshua Zexi and then Leny Yoro. Zexi going for £35 million and Lenny Yoro going for everything, a total package of £59 million. That is where things stands at the moment for Manchester United in terms of incomings. Now, when it comes to departure, a few players have left the club. Willy Kambuala has left for Villarreal for €10 million. Mason Greenwood for almost €30 million. Donny van de Beek has also left for around €500,000. And also already we sold Alvaro Fernandez to Benfica for €6 million. Now, if you check the net spend of how much money we've spent so far, it is standing at €62 million net spend. So we've spent about €104 million and we've brought in about €442.50 million. And you see, it's within the range of the budget that has been set. Now, for a new midfielder to come, just as Fabrizio Romano said, United will need to sell players or need to sell one of the midfielders to be able to fund the Ugarte deal. And what we are hearing, all we've known, is that Scott McTominay or Casemiro are the players that are likely to be sold because these are players with very high value. Already we've rejected a bid from Fulham in relation to the Scott McTominay deal. We want a huge offer or a better offer, not a huge offer, a better offer somewhere in a region of 30 million plus, £30 million and above. The offer that came for him, especially from Galatasaray, very, very low, but from Fulham also very, very low. And that's the strategy we are working with. So if you see how things are going, Anthony Martial went for free, Joshua Zexi has come in, Rafael Varane has left, Leny Yoro has come in. So if you're going to sign a midfielder, we have to sell. When we sell, we are able to bring in another midfielder. We've also heard of rumors that West Ham are also interested in Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, if he's also supposed to come in, we'd have to sell before we can make that replacement. All right, so this is the strategy. So keep in mind, that is how United is intending to operate in this transfer market. I've told you the club is hampered by a lot of things, one being FFP, one also being the PSR. United don't want to get themselves in the red light where we are sanctioned, just like Everton and Nottingham Forest and all the other clubs have suffered. So it's very important. So there are reports that United is working around with a budget of around 50 to 70 million. Seem to be very true. Seems like that's what we are doing. But we'll get to see everything that happens at the end of the transfer window. But so far, this is how things stand in terms of how we are conducting our transfers. So the strategy is quite clear. Sell players and then replace. Sell, replace, sell, replace. That's how we are probably going to deal with that situation. So A lot more interesting stuff to come our way here on United and Everything Football. Thanks so much for being a part of this. Thanks for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed the breakdown of everything that happened with Lenny Yoro. We welcome into the club. United will be in action against Rangers in Edinburgh on Saturday. But I'll be bringing you more of United today, bringing you more of the updates around the club. And right after the game against Rangers in the preseason, myself, Kwame, and other guests will be here on the podcast to discuss all the things and every other thing that has come up in and around the club. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Please like the videos and leave a comment. I'll see you on the next one. Have a great time. Bye bye.